Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ryan here, and today I got a story for you. An interesting story, I hope. Maybe motivational even, who knows. But I was going to write this story for my email list, and I probably still am, but the problem is it's a sensitive story, and it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, basically it's going to take me an hour. It's probably take me 45 minutes and an hour to write it and then edit it. Whereas I can talk it out and then kind of think about it before I actually decide to write it. I do want to write it because it's going to be better written anyway. But I'm on my way to pick up my children, and I want to talk to you about what's the word I want to say? So I had something happened to me where I felt like something was being taken away, right? It made me feel this fight or flight response. You know, if you've ever kind of imagined, like when I worked at 24 Hour Fitness, I had this. I've had multiple compensation plan changes, right? It was a pay decrease. Sometimes it usually really wasn't a pay decrease, but it doesn't matter. There was a lot of uncertainty involved. There was a lot of just uncertainty, which kind of causes you to cause anxiety. It's sort of like what happens when there's a new election, when a new president or just some big change happens, right? It happens every year. Or it happens every 4 years with presidents. But with job changes and stuff like that, you get this sort of feeling of, I get this feeling of fear and anxiety because, you know, it's your livelihood. You got your kids. Oh, well, I got kids. You know, I'm married. I got a mortgage. You got these things that you get comfortable with, and then you get scared, and you get into the scarcity mindset, right? And it just made me think of all the bad decisions or less suboptimal decisions I made, you know? Because I've been doing pretty good this past year, and I just basically wish I saved more money, right? And I didn't. You know, what happened was I regret that as my income went up, as our income, me and my wife's income went up, our expenses went up. You know, and you always think that you're spending smart, but it's hard. It's like eating calories. It's like trying to manage calories. You think you're eating good, but you're not losing any weight, and you're overweight, which basically means you're not eating good at all, even though you think you are. Anyways, so that's sort of the feeling I had a couple weeks ago, and in a way, I've kind of decided or realized to myself that I was being a bitch. You know, I was essentially blaming I was wanting to blame someone else for my situation. And I don't know what happened, but for whatever reason, I just kind of woke up. I woke up. I'm like, okay, it is time to wake up, you know? Because I've been looking, because I used to have this just deep inner this deep inner drive to succeed with ridiculous ferocity. You know why? Because I had no choice, you know. I had no choice. I wasn't making enough money. I didn't want to train 10 clients a day anymore, you know. So what happened was I scaled my client base down. I wasn't making enough money to pay our bills, right? My wife was working a little bit harder to make more income while I was trying to do this internet thing, you know. And I had no choice but to succeed. And don't get me wrong, I was scared then too, and I was worried about whether anything I was going to do was going to work. And what ended up happening was it kind of worked. It worked. It didn't work out the way I think it did. It actually worked out probably better, you know, in hindsight. And I had that drive that pushed me then, right? So, you know, I get to that point where I'm able to make a really good income and have a new opportunity in front of me. And then I have this feeling of like it was being taken away, and it wasn't being taken away. You know, it just felt that way, right? It just felt like I had no choice but to accept the deal that I was given. I don't know if you've ever felt like that. You have no choice. It's either my way or the highway, you know. And at one point, you want to sort of negotiate, and you want to kind of not be a pushover, but the other end, you don't want. You're worried about what the other person might think, right? So, and the problem is, what makes this so difficult is it's not just for me. You know, I have a family, I have a mortgage, I have private school to pay for, which I don't want to pay for, but I have to, because my wife likes private school. Anyways, my point is that I have all these things. This is what makes adulting hard. Okay, this is what makes adulting hard. But the point is, see, I want to keep saying the point is, I'm trying to speed up my story here. Is I just had to find that feeling again, where you're like, I'm gonna succeed no matter what. My back is against the wall. I can't breathe. I'm drowning, but I have no choice but to find a way to get my head above water and take my breath. Right? There's this guy. His name's Eric. I forgot his name. Eric something. And he goes, you have to want to breathe just as much as you want to succeed. It's pretty cool. Like it's this motivational thing. You have to want to breathe so bad. Right? And the problem is when you get the golden handcuffs, the high-paying job or the comfortable situation where you're just living a life where you're not necessarily struggling, you want more, but you're doing well, you get comfortable, right? And trust me, this whole 14 months I've been thinking to myself, how do I get out of this feeling of laziness? Because I felt it happening. I felt my laziness happening. I was questioning how hard I was working, because it's I know I can do more, right? But then I know if I did more, it's going to divide my focus, and it was so difficult to figure out what to do with my free time. I'm telling you, free time is people want more free time, but free time can be a curse. Okay, it is a curse. Because I don't know. I've been listening to Grant Cardone, and Grant Cardone has been sort of who's kind of picked me up. Even before I was doing what I'm doing now with copywriting and marketing. The 10X book was such a big life changer for me. It was just here's this chapter. It's called. Now, I wasn't gonna call this chapter "Don't Be a Little Bitch," but there I said it. This is not in the book, by the way. That's what he says. And I'm telling you, man, I felt that feeling of my back against the wall, even though I was totally fine. It's that fear, fight or flight response that kicked in. And guess what happened? I decided for myself that, number one, most important, be grateful. I'm grateful for what I have. What I have is amazing. I have an amazing opportunity. I'm working with really good people. I have good people around me. I'm building a reputation. I have a beautiful wife. I have beautiful kids. I have a car. I have a camera to record. I have a YouTube channel. I have my 20 viewers that watch some of my videos. I'm grateful for what I have. I have a roof over my head. I live in America. I got clean water. We have food on the table. My God, that just makes me want to cry almost. Oh my God, I got all this stuff. I'm fine. What am I crying for? Right? That's the first thing, okay? Working on that. Trust me, sometimes not so easy sometimes. When you get work from a place of fear, it doesn't feel good. You can succeed, but it doesn't feel good. And number two, find that drive again. Find that fire. I listen to Obsessed or Be Average, and I'm just on fire again. I'm you know what? I'm going to do the thing that I said I was going to do when I started. And what that was a unicorn. What that is a product or offering that makes a ridiculous amount of money. Basically a cash machine. And even though it's freaking damn near impossible to do and unlikely to do and very rare to do, right? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it no matter what. I'm going to do it this year. I wrote down on my wall, $10 million offer by 2018. End of this year, and I'm going to do it. I don't know. I'm just thinking of ideas and just, that's on my mind, okay? And why is that? Because that's what I wanted to do in the beginning anyway, right? And I found this other opportunity, which is great, but see, when you don't have something to chase, when you don't have something to fight for, when your back is not against the wall and you're not hungry, you just won't go anywhere. This was why I like YouTube videos, because I can say stuff that people will never watch, which is kind of cool. I have a friend of mine. I always talk about my best friend Thomas, and he used to be driven just like me. We motivate each other. We're gonna be millionaires, right? We would go to seminars. we would like, you know, I'm the one that dragged him to the Robert Allen Flip Your Houses seminar back in 2000. You know, 2000, right? And he thought I was crazy, you know. I'm like, you're gonna go to a seminar and you're gonna pay $5,000 or whatever, and you're gonna go and do that. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? It's like, and this is direct response marketing too. There's a full page ad in a newspaper. I opened it up and it had like Robert Allen. It's a free seminar on how to make a bunch of money flipping houses. And I took him there, or I had asked him to come with me there. I think he couldn't drive. I can't even remember. But the point was, I went there, took him there, went to the seminar. I didn't have any money, so I went and got a loan. Right? I went and got a loan and paid for the seminar. And guess what? He freaking followed suit. Right? I'm just gonna go do it. Right? And guess what happens? I buy some houses. Long story short, I go bankrupt basically because I didn't know what I was doing. But hey, he makes a lot of money for a lot of people. The people he worked with made like at least $1 million, you know, more than $1 million. You know, he made a really good living for himself flipping houses, and if he wanted to, he could do it himself. But then you know what happened? He got comfortable, right? God, you get comfortable. You lose that ambition to become rich. You know why you lose the ambition to become rich? Because you have no reason to become rich for, right? You want to be rich, but you need a reason to be rich, right? You don't want to. People who build like Amazon or want to go to Mars, like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or freaking Warren Buffett, right? They don't want to be rich because they just want to be rich. Don't get me wrong, that's still a big driving force, but it's a bigger cause. There's a bigger source of like ambition to literally do good in the world. I mean, why else would you do anything, right? It's to do good because what you believe what you're doing is good. Right? Some of the people you don't like in politics or people you don't like in business, you may not like them, but for them, they feel like they're doing good, right? That's what it means. It's about what you want to accomplish, right? It's about what I want to accomplish. And it's finding that next thing to like just work your face off and bury yourself in work. If you've ever played video games or got into an RPG and you get into the story and you just want to beat the level, right? That's the feeling you want. When you're an adult, when you're a kid, you play games, you try to beat the game and crush it, right? But when you're an adult, you know, you can't play games. I mean, I guess you can if you want, but like the reality is you have a family, you have mouths to feed, you have other things that become more important, and then it ends up becoming about money and time. Right? And what happens is your goals shrink, your dreams shrink, your ideas shrink, and all the things that you wanted to be, all the things you ever wanted to do just turn this little tiny little square, and you just fit it in that box. And you know what? That happens to everybody, you know, at every level, everywhere. I heard this new quote the other day, new levels, new devils, right? The people who are the wealthiest, the richest, the most popular, they struggle. They struggle just as much as the poorest person. They really do, right? And I just mentioned Grant Cardone, like he has this way of looking at things that sort of like switch ahead of myself. It's like you can either be rich and unhappy, or you could be poor and happy, right? Or not as rich. It's like, why can't you have both? You know? Why can't you be fit? Why can't you have a lot of money? Why can't you have a great family life? Why can't you have an amazing business? Why can't you do everything? You know? Why can't you have it all? You know? There's no reason why you can't have it all. Or you fucking try and you can push yourself so freaking hard to have it all. I'm just laughing because see, like, I suffer from very low confidence. I really do. You know, and for whatever reason, I'm like animated and I hit a stride in this video. And if you're watching, I appreciate you hanging in for 14 minutes of this video. But like, I'm just like, man, the obsession, like it's like permission to succeed. What does permission to succeed mean? Permission means permission to be obsessed. Permission to like just get into the thing that you're into. So much so that, hey, this is what you wanted to do. Why? And if people think you're crazy, fuck them. You know, this is about what you want to accomplish, about your life, not other people's lives. You know, this is the hardest part that I've been having challenges with, is do I want to become rich because I want to show people I'm rich? Because that's actually a strong factor, you know? I don't want that to be the reason. And then I'm like, why not make it the reason? Why not be rich for the simple reason I'm saying, look, I made it. I made it, right? So that's like my question to you. Do you want to make it? Right? I mean, like, that's I mean, the end of the story, or sort of like the punchline, because it's not going to be written like this, but what happened is I ended up deciding that I'm going to accomplish this goal no matter what. I'm gonna have it in my head. I'm going to do this thing, make this winning offer, and I'm going to make it no matter what. And then I made the decision to do it. I made the decision to push. I made the decision to just do it. I was like, I'm going to do it, right? Imagine if you can do that for anything. Just imagine, like, you want to lose weight, you want abs, you decide that's what you want. Once you decide what it is, what you want, you write it down, you commit to it. It's just a matter of time till you get there. You put a deadline to push yourself so you get there sooner, you know? But like that commitment, like that ferocious velocity of just like wanting to like just get it, you know? It's like that winning attitude. You want that every day. You're looking for things to do every day. You're looking for a partner that will help you do that. You're looking for a business, hobby, or professional work life that will make you do that. That will just light you up, that you're so excited to do every single day. Right? And if what you're doing gets you bored, well, you need to find... I mean, don't quit your job or anything or put yourself in peril, but make it so that you're working on something that really brings you to life. Bring yourself to life. Find something to bring yourself to life. That's my story. Thanks for watching.